First, the top news headlines. One more body recovered from Barak River, bringing total to 6 as public believes victims are abducted 6 women and children by suspected Kukimar militants. Government withholds confirmation. Manipur Chief Minister convenes urgent meeting with NDA ministers and MLAs to address deteriorating law and order, urges Kokomi to avoid violence amid rising tensions. Shooting at PWD guest house in Jiribam leaves 1 dead, another injured. Public outrage erupts as alleged shooter, senior SP Nectar, faces calls for immediate termination and justice. NPP President Conrad Sangma reaffirms withdrawal of support for N. Biren Singh's BJP government in Manipur, stresses reconsideration pending leadership changes or peace initiatives. And BJP Jiribam Bundle office bearers resign over worsening situation in Manipur, cite helplessness amid growing crisis. A very good evening. You are watching IS English News. This is Suraj Khongban Tabam giving you the news. Now the news in detail. One more body was pulled from the Barak River today in the Nungai area of Singarban Part 4, Lakhipur, bringing the total number of bodies recovered in the past week to 6. The body, believed to be that of 25-year-old Laishram Haitombi Devi, was pulled from the river by local fishermen and later retrieved by a team from the Lakhipur police station. The discovery comes a day after 2 other bodies, those of a child and a woman, were found in separate incidents in the same river. Over the past few days, a total of 6 bodies have been recovered, raising concerns about a possible link to the recent violence in the region. The discovery of these 6 bodies has fueled public speculation that they belong to the 6 women and children abducted by suspected Kuki militants during the violent attack in Jiribam on November 11th. However, the official identities of the bodies recovered, including today's, have not yet been confirmed by the government. The situation has sparked anger among people of Manipur who are demanding answers and accountability from the government. A crucial meeting convened by Manipur Chief Minister with NDA ministers and MLAs began at 6 p.m. today to review the deteriorating law and order situation in the state. Ahead of the meeting, the Chief Minister's office had issued a formal communication to the Coordinating Committee on Manipur Integrity, Kokomi, urging them to refrain from any violent forms of agitation during this sensitive period. The letter, signed by Secretary to the Chief Minister Ningthaujam Jafari, emphasized the need for a collective approach to address the prevailing issues. The meeting comes amidst rising tensions in the state, with the government seeking cooperation from stakeholders to restore normalcy. A shooting incident at the PWD guest house in Jiribam district last night left 1 youth dead and another seriously injured. The incident occurred around 10:40 p.m. when retired Colonel and present Senior SP Combat Nectar reportedly fired at a mob. The deceased is identified as 23-year-old Athoba Singh, son of K.H. Tomba Singh of Kamaranga, who succumbed to the bullet injuries to his chest. Another victim, 30-year-old Kaisam Benson, son of K. Bizen Singh of Jiribam Bidyanagar, sustained injuries in the abdomen and hip area. Due to the severity of his injuries, Benson was transferred from Jiribam to Silchar Hospital for further treatment. A witness, Ketrimayum Debashis, narrated that while the youth of Jiribam were gathering at Irabot complex waiting from the appointment of SP of Jiribam, Officer Nectar, allegedly under the influence of alcohol, arrived at the scene and engaged in a heated argument with the crowd, firing blank shots and reportedly attempt to assault a woman. Following the altercation, Nectar fled to the PWD guest house and the enraged mob pursued him to his residence where the situation escalated. Nectar allegedly opened fire at the retreating crowd, resulting in the fatal shooting of Athoba Singh and injuries to Kaisam Benson. It is reported that the mob in Imphal had set ablaze fire to some of the construction materials kept in his residence in Uripol. The incident has sparked public outrage, with irate public taking up protests demanding his termination and justice today. President of WASET and Nivarani Devi condemned the killing, describing it as an unjust act against a student. She called for Nectar's immediate termination from his position. According to the Kokomi Youth Front, the deceased person turns out to be one of its members from the Jiribam branch. In a press meet held at Khwairamban Kaitel today, the coordinator of Kokomi Students Wing, Ningthauzam Dhanakumar Meitei, demanded termination of Nectar with immediate effect and justice.
Senior SP na Madam Sadana Jiribam da Lakpiraga Akoigi Madam Marale Jadaba Satra ama Kundapam Atauba Papam Tomba Lepamna Kamanka Dagi Ngarang Madam Sadana Mana Zu Pulda Noxelaga Akoigi Asimana Satra Hatpase Akoi Jiribangi Kazana Zanide Kandem Tawi Adu Magi Sarkana Atuba Tamda Mabu Matiksaba Dandi PBU Aduga Lonana Magi Mangonda Uzik Mana Pai Bapose dismiss Tobiu terminate Tobiu Habase Akuna Sarkagi Magida appeal Tozeri
Hamduragi Hectamadi Mataki Kata with the guest house Matake Kata Maksandama Pale, Kuinam Pado, Aduma Kuda Lake, on spot the dead oil. Amada Kama de Chelam, the issue like Tarian or Managanda Panda and Maruze. Akoy, I'm like Chile, Mana, direct blank should enter Akoida, Akoina Hanumikapi, Akoy protestor, but police is Manga Dana Pamandu, Akoina Kaidino Minova, Akoina Hanakapi, no me, Mana Koda Blend or baby, that Torodi, Maite. Aduga mana hana kapu pone have a poche CD is hamak evident over what money with proof to like any loyal available like
The National President of the NPP and Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Conrad K. Sangma, reaffirmed that the party's MLAs in Manipur have decided to withdraw their support for the N. Biren Singh-led BJP government in the state. According to Sangma, this decision follows the deteriorating governance situation in Manipur over the past week. Speaking to a few reporters on the sidelines of the 4th edition of the Shillong Literary Festival at World's Leg in Shillong, Sangma emphasized that the NPP would reconsider its stance on supporting the BJP government in Manipur, depending on any leadership changes or positive developments aimed at restoring normalcy in the state. While acknowledging that Chief Minister N. Biren Singh may not be pleased with the party's move, Sangma stated that the NPP would view it as a positive step if Biren Singh presents a comprehensive plan to bring peace to Manipur.
We would be able to see situation improve in Manipur. From government side, central government, with state government, different efforts were made. And our objective was to see that normalcy would return. It was not about politics as such. And hence, we were hoping and we were supporting in the hope that we would be able to see the situation improve and normalcy would return in the state of Manipur. But in the last 1 week, we have seen the situation further deteriorate. I also would like to share that I have been discussing with a number of leaders from the center and the BJP also, and sharing with them that it is important to create a confidence building measure and trust in the system and the overall scenario out there. Because of the trust deficit, the overall activities and the actions being taken are not reaching to a logical conclusion. And hence, we have been stressing that some kind of a trust building measure must be taken from the government side, center as well as state, to be able to then create that environment for the actions to actually have a positive result. That was not, in a way, done. But still, we were hopeful, as I said, that things would improve. But as I mentioned, in the last 1 week, we have seen the situation further deteriorate. And hence, we felt strongly that suffering people, and especially, as I said, last 1 week, and overall, looking at the situation not improving any further, we have lost complete confidence in the current leadership there of Shri Biren Singh Ji, that will not be able to move forward, and it'll be difficult for the National People's Party to support the Biren Singh.
In a significant political development, several office bearers and executive members of the Bharatiya Janata Party BJP Jirebam Mandal have tendered their resignations, citing the worsening situation in Jirebam and Manipur as a whole. The group, led by President K. Jadoo Singh, submitted their resignation letters to the President of the BJP Manipur Pradesh, expressing their dissatisfaction with the current state of affairs in the region. In their resignation letter, the office bearers stated that they were compelled to step down due to the unwelcome and helpless situation prevailing in both Jirebam and the broader state of Manipur. They expressed their inability to continue their association with the party under the current circumstances. The resignation was signed by the President K. Jadoo Singh, Vice President, General Secretary, and 5 other executive members of the BJP Jirebam Mandal. The letter requested that the BJP Manipur Pradesh leadership accept their resignations. The Congress Party today called for the resignation of Union Home Minister Amit Shah and Manipur Chief Minister Biren Singh over the ongoing ethnic violence in Manipur, which has been raging since May last year. At a press conference in Delhi, Congress General Secretary Jairam Ramesh accused the Home Minister of failing to protect the people of Manipur, particularly women and children, during the crisis. He also criticized Prime Minister Narendra Modi for not visiting the state despite the worsening situation, urging him to travel to Manipur before the upcoming parliament session and convene an all-party meeting to address the unrest. Ramesh stated that while Modi had travelled internationally, he had not spared time for Manipur, where law and order had collapsed. The Manipur Congress President K. Meghachandra Singh echoed these concerns, noting that abductions, killings and extortions were increasing in the state. He also reminded Modi of his 2017 election statement that those unable to ensure peace in Manipur should not govern, questioning the effectiveness of the double-engine government. Both leaders demanded accountability, with Meghachandra calling for the resignation of Chief Minister Biren Singh, stating that he no longer had the right to govern.
प्रधानमंत्री को तुरंत मणिपुर जाना चाहिए, तुरंत सर्वदलीय बैठक बुलानी चाहिए, मणिपुर के पार्टियों के साथ, नेताओं के साथ, राष्ट्रीय पार्टी, राष्ट्रीय नेताओं के साथ, संसद के में नेताओं के साथ। और जिस तरीके से कई महीने पहले सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये कहा था कि मणिपुर में सारी जो संवैधानिक तंत्र है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मशीनरी है, वो टूट चुका है। उस जानकारी के बावजूद आप इस मुख्यमंत्री को पद पर ये बैठे रहे हैं, ये समझ में नहीं आता।
Honorable Prime Minister should say the presidency ministers of Manipur is no right to continue, as is also stated in 2017 too. So the presidency minister has no right to continue the administration there in the state. So now I just want to urge the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, he should immediately visit Manipur, and if he has no time to visit Manipur, please give me the appointment. The leaders of Manipur, including the MLAs, ministers of the BJP, including the Congress MLAs and the political leaders. So if he is given the appointment, we can come to Delhi and meet Honorable Prime Ministers if it doesn't have the time to come to Manipur.
Lilong Assembly Constituency MLA Abdul Nasir has written to Prime Minister Narendra Modi urging decisive action in response to the volatile situation in Manipur following the brutal killing of 3 women and 3 children, including an 8-month-old infant, who were held hostage for several days. Describing the act as an inhuman and barbaric, Nasir condemned the perpetrators as cowards for targeting vulnerable women and children, a violation of global humanitarian norms. In his letter, the MLA expressed deep anguish and extended condolences to the bereaved families. He urged the Prime Minister to publicly denounce the killings and take immediate measures, including declaring the perpetrators as terrorists, passing a parliamentary resolution condemning the act, and ensuring swift justice with exemplary punishment. Nasir also called for an amendment to Article 3 of the Indian Constitution to preserve Manipur's territorial integrity, emphasizing the need for urgent intervention to restore peace in the state. In response to the recent killings of women and children by suspected Kuki militants in Jiribam, local communities in Khangabog and Thawal districts held protests and vigils to express their condemnation and solidarity with the victims. Last night, the Khangabog Apunba Leisabi, supported by various volunteer groups including the Khangabog Joint Coordinating Committee, Khangabog Defence Force and the Village Volunteer Force, organized a candlelight vigil in Khangabog. The gathering was marked by a 2-minute silence in honor of the departed souls, with participants chanting slogans condemning the killings of civilian women and children. They demanded justice for the victims and called for the eradication of Kuki militants from Manipur. The protesters also called on elected representatives to take responsibility for protecting the lives of the people.
Manipur ki MLA minister na miyam ki punche. Manipur ki MLA minister na miyam ki punche. Manipur ki MLA minister na miyam ki punche.
Simultaneously, a tourist rally was held in Thawal district, particularly led by the women of Salungpham. Organized by the United Club Salungpham and the Salungpham Apun Mamera Paibi, the rally began and ended at the Salungpham Mathak Lekai Chingtam High School ground. The procession passed through various streets of Salungpham before concluding with a 2-minute silence in tribute to the victims. During the rally, the president of Salungpham Apun Mamera Paibi, Thingbaizam Nganbiton Lema, expressed her heartbreak over the incident and questioned the role of the Indian government, asking whether Jiribam was not part of Manipur. She strongly condemned the government's alleged support for the Kuki militants, accusing them of attempting to wipe out the Meitei population. Protesters shouted slogans against the Kuki militants, referring to them as animals, and demanded the resignation of elected representatives, insisting on justice for the victims.
Jiri hai balamdam se Manipur ki saruk aman natrabra India government ngasi Kuki gi matung da le peraga makoina karigumba amata walhandabagi Manipur hai balamdam sida dairiba maitai hai phurup sibu manganabagi damakta asuki matik moina lalong ama selaga ngasi chathara ibalal asida misi mina kaya yaura ibasing aikoi mama oibi ama oina aina ngasi leidana taduna leibangamde adubu India government nakoi khango Kuki singa maruk oidok saruk pudi maitai hai ba pikraba phurup marok sing leiba mapangal leiba prithibida ngasi phawgi manungda British hariba samurai numi taba naidraba samurai na bawba maithiba piba ngamgidraba Manipur maitai haiba jati jibu na khoina namthani haidana kuki bu khulai oina sinaraga ngasi Manipur bu maitai bu ngasi na khoina asiguma lalong ma silaga tawbijidi natik sunate Manipur dagi kuki jingi lam machet ama phaba piba ngamoi aduga India government na khoi bhap taw Narendra Modi amadi Manipur gi Mithibong mitamhal oraba Chief Minister amadi MLA Mantri Madon Singh akoi su bhap taw Manipur haiba sanale pang Manipur se laina thabalam damni mutpasu yaroi ngasi kuki jing gi mathakta icha jing lekhidaba mayam sing ji gi songsoi soidana igi laman singdana ngasi kuki sing bo Manipur tagi maru phangna mutha.
A candlelight protest was also held at Bangalore last night by the Karnataka Meitei Association to condemn the brutal killing of women and children by Chin Kuki Jau militants. The protest held at ABCD ground in Vivek Nagar expressed outrage at the senseless and barbaric killings. The association condemned the violence, calling it an inhuman act that shocked the conscience of the nation. In their statement, the association demanded an immediate military crackdown on the militants, the withdrawal of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act from 6 police stations in Manipur, and enhanced coordination between central forces and the Manipur police. They also called for compensation for the families of the slain victims. The peaceful protest was a show of solidarity with the victims and a call for justice and security for vulnerable communities in Manipur. For the second time, a group of irate protesters thronged at the residence of Kaisamthong Assembly Constituency MLA Sapam Nishikant at Thogda Bhaboglika yesterday evening, voicing their anger over the ongoing situation in Manipur. The protesters, who were particularly enraged by the recent reports of women and children being killed by suspected Kuki militants in Jiribam after abduction, demanded that Nishikant, currently in the national capital, return to Manipur and provide a clear stance on the state's prevailing crisis. The protesters who thronged at the MLA residence also talked with the MLA through phone. The first attack at the residence of Nishikant was carried out on September 16, soon after receiving the report of women and children being killed by Kuki militants. During the incident, the mob had vandalized the sentry post at his residence.
May sakwa kama lebak si may sakwa lora thola kya hai braba kasandong ki andar ni mihula mo era kana adyan nari nyogna lo lido karigino lo apna den thola kom dokto nangi kasandong ki andar ni nangi pardana asulang wana le era kana nangi tumira demong ke naya saja ye bla bro chulani murab ta hai ro nani ro ado design se to bute yara bo ya to ya kada bane koi lok thok char ke design se to re chu yara bo press na ho ga yara ba ba tamo se design se to gre che koi lok thok char ke yara bo ado ni na ai bu chima piro ko to me me ko to.
Before we wind up, let's have a quick look at the top news headlines once again. One more body recovered from Barak River, bringing total to 6 as public believes victims are abducted 6 women and children by suspected Kukimar militants. Government withholds confirmation. Manipur Chief Minister convenes urgent meeting with NDA ministers and MLAs to address deteriorating law and order, urges Kokomi to avoid violence amid rising tensions. Shooting at PWD guest house in Jiribam leaves 1 dead, another injured. Public outrage erupts as alleged shooter, senior SP Nectar, faces calls for immediate termination and justice. NPP President Comrade Sangma reaffirms withdrawal of support for N. Biren Singh's BJP government in Manipur, stresses reconsideration pending leadership changes or peace initiatives. And BJP Jiribam Mandal office bearers resign over worsening situation in Manipur, cite helplessness amid growing crisis. Well, that's all for now. Keep watching IS News and have a great evening.